Every once in a while, I get an idea for a really cool build. Hello everybody, welcome to Hex1E. My name is Ralph. You see, at Hex1E we have different types of builds. One of them being the regular build-to-order machines where I get a mostly fixed budget and do the best with what I've got. Another type though are the signature builds. Signature builds always excite me a lot, since they are kind of the realization of a vision or an idea. Builds we've been working on or wanting to build for some time, but are in need of a client. Once I've got the client, I'm very eager to build it. This time, I'm happy to share the experience with you. But before that, and as a favor, subscribe and comment on what you liked and didn't like about the video, so that we can improve our content. Any ideas are of course welcome too. Finally, we'd like more people to enjoy our videos. If you could spread the word by, for example, linking them, it would be greatly appreciated. Now, with that out of the way, let's get back to the video. Okay, which components did we choose now? When planning for this system, the choice lay between an Intel 11 something I don't know K and an AMD Ryzen 5000. I don't quite remember my reasoning, but in the end we went for a Ryzen 7 5800X and therefore AMD. Once we've chosen a platform, the motherboard selection comes next. And for this one, the choice was always going to be X570. For a system in this category, we went for a high-end motherboard without going overboard. Yeah. The final choice was a Gigabyte X570 Aorus Master. I've got lots of experience with Gigabyte boards. Prefer their BIOS to, for example, MSI, and like their design aesthetics a lot. The choice of memory wasn't that difficult either. I needed something shiny and, most importantly, silver. G-Skill's Trident Z Royal it is then. In this particular case, 3200 and CL14. For the GPU, we wanted to go with a Radeon RX 6800 XT. That was the original idea, but with the reality of GPU pricing and availability, we had to change those plans. And since they share the same PCB design, we went for the non-XT version instead. Also, I was scammed, meaning stolen, 700 euros trying to get the OG 6800 XT version. At least in Germany, internet crime still pays. But let's return to the build. For storage, we're gonna have a selection of NVMe, PCIe 3 and PCIe 4 drives for a total of 1.5 terabytes. And finally, we do have a power supply, some fans, more fans. Let me look around here. Let's get a weight over here. We have about 11 kilograms, 23 pounds of water cooling gear. Now for the case. Here we've got something really special, and you'll have to wait till next episode for that one. Let's start building the test rig. First of all, sorry for the noise outside, but I don't wanna wait anymore. Let's delve deeper into the signature build thing. As I've already said, signature builds are builds that are born out of some idea, instead of something built to order. And again, as I've already said, these are builds kind of in search for a client. One thing you have to keep in mind is that I build these type of machines for fun. And open loop, water-cooled PCs aren't exactly cheap. So this is a way I found to finance this passion. Sorry for plugging an ad, but if you're interested in one of our awesome machines, just contact us. And if you haven't decided yet and first wanna take a look at some of our past builds, just head over to ox1e.de/builds and feast your eyes. Enough of that. Besides the fact that signature builds are inspired by some idea I've got and represent something I really wanna build, instead of the client telling me what he or she wants, there is no actual difference to regular builds. Well, signature builds are signed and have a nameplate, but that's it. To the build itself, I almost always start with assembling the system on a test bench. Sometimes, if I'm particularly lazy, the motherboard box will do as well. After all, assembling on a test bench takes way more time and effort. In contrast to air-cooled builds, I fully assemble the system, install OS and other software, then test all the hardware components even before opening other boxes and taking the case or water cooling gear out of their respective enclosures. This is also the reason of why I'm not showing off the case and not having shown you any of the water cooling gear. We'll open all of these together, and I think that's fair. Yes, I am perfectly aware that it would be much more fun to start building the final system and finishing up everything right away. As probably many of you, I'm certainly not immune to that pull either. But I've had some bad experiences, and building, unbuilding, blah 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 again is way worse than pre-building the machine for testing purposes and then building the final system and finishing up everything. In essence, test first and save the fun for later on. Another thing I've got to mention is that having the inspiration way before building the system isn't often that beneficial. At least with me, I do the whole 3D design and then start to tinker and tinker and tinker, such that in the end I have something that's really over-engineered. And as a consequence, I have to rethink parts or maybe even the whole design. Of course, knowing what I have to work with helps, but it's double or triple the workload nonetheless. Summary/TLDR. If you invest lots of time and money into your system, you'll probably end up doing more work than necessary. But when you finally build it and it turns out just right, it's absolutely awesome and a very fulfilling experience. Okay, story time's over. Back to me, I guess. Okay, what has been achieved since we first booted the system? First, I tried to look in the BIOS if everything is recognized. That's the fact. It is recognized. Then install Windows and run a blend of benchmark and stress tests to see if everything is working alright. The system got pretty hot when I stress tested it. That is no surprise, but that's why you see this weird setup having 4 Noctua fans and the big quiet cooler. But yeah, it worked okay. And I believe that with the water cooling, it's gonna run much cooler than it runs with this weird setup. So I'll be testing it some more. And next time comes a really exciting part where we actually build the system. The case is here, we have all the parts ready to go, and we'll go over them and put together something great. You'll see. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave us a like. And if you don't want to miss the second part of this video or any other of our other future content, consider subscribing to the channel and hit that notification bell. My name is Ralph, and I hope to see you next time here at X1E.